Good morning to one and all present over here. Today I'm going to present my sixth video on how to run a program and verify its functional correctness using Xilinx ISC Design Suite 14.7. So actually the Xilinx ISC Design Suite 14.7, if it is being installed in a 32-bit OS, it is not going to create any problem. But if it is going to be created in, it is a 32-bit software. So if the 32-bit software is installed in a 64-bit computer, we need to follow certain steps before starting the program, or else the program will not be allowing you to either create a file or proceed with the coding process. So for this, what you need to do, that we'll be seeing in the program. Along with it, we'll be seeing how to write a basic program and how to test its functional correctness. So with this, let me start with my presentation. Okay. So first what you need to do means, you need to go to, first right click this Xilinx ISC Design Suite 14.7, click on Properties. Here in the properties, in the target, it will be like this, C:, because this is the target location where the Xilinx is present, C:// Xilinx /14.7 IS/ISC_DS /settings 64.bat C:// Xilinx /14.7 ISC/DS /ISC/bin. Here it would have been initially 64 over here. So this is actually a 32-bit software over here, but my operating system Windows 10, it is a 64-bit OS. So now if I'm trying to run this, what it will be doing, let us see. See, it is not allowing me to run because this is a 32-bit OS, but whereas the operating system in which it has been installed is 64-bit OS. So 32-bit software installed in 64-bit OS. So for this, we need to make certain prerequisite things for executing our program. So right click on it, go to Properties. Here in this target location where you are finding NT64, kindly change it to NT. NT means it is going to run a 32-bit software. It is going to go for 64. Actually, this is a 32-bit software only, so it will not be running directly on a 64-bit OS. So we need to make certain basic things in order to make it to run on a 64-bit OS. Initially, it would have been NT64. So what it will be doing, if I'm going for NT64, it will not be allowing me to create any form of files over here. Let me again show it to you. See over here, it will be opening. Here you may be asking that you have run the program, but let me show you. Let me close everything over here. Okay. Now I will go to File, New Project, and I want to change the location to somewhere. See, if I click it, it will be closing. So in order to make it run, what I'm doing is right click it, go to Properties, and convert the 64 into NT. Now click on Apply. It will be asking you will need to provide administrator permissions to change these settings. Kindly click on Continue. Okay. Now this is the first thing. Next one, Go to the Xilinx folder. The Xilinx folder, the Xilinx, I have installed the software in C drive. So there will be two files. One is .xilinx, another one is Xilinx. Go to Xilinx. Go to the folder 14.7. Go to ISC_DS. Go to ISC. Here you will be having one file called as LIB. Kindly select it. Here you will be having a file called as LIB. Kindly select it. Now this NT is for 32-bit versions. NT64 is for 64-bit versions. So the version of the software is 32-bit over here. So kindly click over this. In this, you have to provide the file lib portability. The three files which you have initially done, which I have initially told you in the tools for designing process circuits part 2, it must be lib portability.dll.org, lib portability.dll, lib portability nosh.dll. In that tools for designing processor circuits part 2, I would have done the same process in NT64 folder. That NT64 folder will be over here. You have to perform the same thing for NT also. There will be two folders within. If you go to ISC_DS, there will be two folders over here. One is called ISC, another one is called common. In ISC, there will be a folder called as lib. In that, there will be two subfolders. One is called NT, another one is called as NT64. In NT64, you would have done lib portability .dll.org, lib portability.dll, lib portability.nosh.dll. Initially, you will be having only lib portability.dll and lib portability.nosh.dll. You have to create another one file. That is, by right clicking this, you have to click on copy and you have to click on paste. Then you have to rename it. This is so that renamed file only, it will be having .dll.org. Okay. Similarly, you have to do it in NT also. It will be initially having lib portability.dll, lib portability nosh.dll. Here also you must include the file lib portability.dll.org. So these three files must be compulsorily present both in NT as well as in NT64. In the folder ISC, within the ISC folder you have to select lib. Within the folder you will be having two subfolders NT and NT64. You have to ensure these three files have to be compulsorily present both in NT as well as in NT64. Similarly, within ISC_DS, you will be having another one folder called as common. Here also you will be having one folder called as lib. Here also you will be having NT and NT64. Here you will be providing only two files. Here if you see means, lib portability.dll and lib portability.dll.org. These two files must be present in NT also. See. So what you have to do is, whatever you are doing the lib portability.dll, first you have to go to ISC_DS, which is within the Xilinx folder. Within the Xilinx, there will be a folder called as 14.7. Within 14.7, there will be a folder called as ISC_DS. Within ISC_DS, if you go means, there will be two folders. One is called ISC, another one is called as common. First go to ISC. Within that, there will be a folder called as lib, LIB. Once you click it, we'll be having two folders, NT and NT64. Both in NT and NT64, you have to ensure both in NT and NT64, you have to ensure lib portability.dll.org libportability.dll, libportability.nosh.dll must be present. This is the library folder within the ISC folder. Similarly, next what you have to do means next to go to common, which is present within the folder ISC_ds. Double click it. Here also there will be one folder called as lib. Kindly click it. Here in NT64 you would have provided libportability.dll and libportability.dll.org. These two DLL files and these two files must be present in the folder NT also. See, in the library file under the common must not contain the libportability NOSH file, whereas the NT and NT64 files within the folder called as common must not have libportability nosh.dll, whereas the NT and NT64 folders in library folder present within ISC, that must be having libportability nosh.dll. This another thing. Next, what you have to do, click on ISC. Here GNU, there will be another one folder. These two things you have to ensure. First one, you have to change, right click the Xilinx ISC icon present in the desktop. You have to change the NT64 to NT. Next one, here you have to go within the two folders present within ISC_ds, namely ISC and common. Here there will be a folder called as lib. Within ISC folder there will be one folder called as lib. Within that there will be two subfolders, NT and NT64. In both these things you have to ensure three files are present: libportability.dll.org, libportability.dll, libportability.nosh.dll. Next, come back. Within the ISC_ds folder, there will be one folder called as common. Within common, there will be another one folder called as lib. Within it, you will be having another two folders called as NT and NT64. Within these two folders, you have to ensure libportability.dll.org and libportability.dll must be present. If any one of these folders are having libportability nosh.dll, you have to remove it. In common, you must be having the NT and NT64 that are present within the library folder of common must be having only libportability.dll.org, libportability.dll. Whereas the NT and NT64 folders present in the lib folder of ISC must be having libportability.dll.org, libportability.dll, libportability.nosh.dll. This is another one. Next one, you have to go to select the click on the folder ISC. There will be a folder called as GNU. GNU, kindly select it. There will be a folder called as MinGW. Select it. Within it, there will be two folders, namely 5.0.0 and beta. Kindly select it. Within it, there will be a folder called as NT. Within it, there will be another folder called as libexec. Kindly click on it. Within it, you will be having one folder called as GCC. Kindly click on it. Within it, you will be having another one folder called as MinW32. Kindly click on it. Within it, you will be having another folder called as 3.4.2. Kindly click on it. Here, you will be having three folders. cc1.exe, cc1plus.exe, collect2.exe. So here, among these three folders, kindly rename the collect2.exe file with any other name. If this file is present, what will be happening means it will not be allowing you to execute your program properly. So it will be coming with a error, simulation error, 861 failed to link the design. If you are Failing to rename this collect2.exe file. Initially, this file will be having the name collect2.exe. If you rename this file only, you will not be having the error simulated design error 861 failed to link the design. Okay, so kindly right click it, rename it with some other name, not necessarily YRT, give any other name. Even you can give your own name, sai.exe. This is my name. Since I don't want, I will just give any other name. You can also give any other name. You must not change the extension. You must change only the folder collect2.exe into some other name. Now, with all these things being prepared over here, now let us go into the Xilinx ISC 14.7 design suite, how to run a program, how to code, and how to test bench the given HDL code. Okay. Now let us close over here. Okay. Now double click on this ISC design suite. So first what I'm doing means I am going to, the software is installed in C drive, but I want my all of my programs to be done in F drive. Since I do not want to overload, so for that purpose I am creating one folder called as Xilinx ISC. Double click it. I am creating another. This Xilinx ISC folder will be having all the programs associated with Xilinx ISC 14.7 Webpack version. Okay, it is not called design suite. It is a Webpack version. Kindly click on logic gates. Okay, that's all. So now I have created a folder within Xilinx ISC. This folder will be used for storing all the forms of Xilinx ISC programs. The first program for sample, I'm going to show the how to code a Verilog code in your Xilinx ISC 14.7. So double click the ISC design suite 14.7 icon in the desktop. Okay. Now go to File. Click on New Project. The New Project Wizard dialog box will be appearing before you. The top level source type must be HDL. So the location and working directory, both of them are the same. Okay. So now these three dots will be allowing you to select a different drive or a different folder. Okay. So these three dots associated with the location and working directory will be allowing you to change the location as well as the working directory. Kindly click on this. So I have created my folder Xilinx ISC. Within it, I have created one folder called as Logic Gates exclusively for writing the Verilog codes for my Logic Gates. So click on OK. Both the location and working directory will be immediately updated. The name I'm going to give it as LG_1. Xilinx ISC F drive is the name of the drive. Xilinx ISC is a folder within it. Logic Gates is a folder within Xilinx ISC. LG_1 is the Verilog file. It's a Verilog file what I'm going to create. So this is a optional description. This is a 2 input AND gate. It can be optionally given by you in order to improve the readability of your program. The top level source type must be HDL. So these are the things. You have to click on these three buttons. You have to select the drive. Within the drive, you have to select the folder. Within the folder, you have to create another one folder specifically for each of the digital circuits. Now, once you have created with it, click on OK. It will get updated both in the location as well as in the working directory. The name of my Xilinx ISC Verilog file is LG_1. So the description is this is a 2 input AND gate. Top level source type must be HDL. Next. Click on Next. Here the project settings will be opened before you. In this, property name will be value. This cannot be changed. I'm not going to load it in any specific evaluation development board. So they can be non-specified. Product category, actually for 4 different types of FPGA, you can use this Xilinx ISC Webpack version. One is general purpose, automotive, military, and radiation tolerant. If you give all means, it will be applicable to all these 4 categories. What are the 4 categories of FPGA we will be using means general purpose, automotive, military, high reliability, radiation tolerant. Next one, I'm going to choose the family of FPGA is Spartan 6. There are several FPGA families over here. Artix, Spartan, Zinc, Cool Runner, Vertex. So these are the different types of FPGAs present over here. So for initial understandability, let me go with Spartan 3E. Automatically, there will be 2 devices over here. These are the different types of devices. As you choose the device over here, automatically the device and the package and the speed will get automatically updated. See over here. These device, package and speed will be the first device, package and the speed level. If you want to go with different package means you can select it accordingly. Okay, so this is the package name. This is the speed. So generally there will be 2 speeds over here. The -3 will be seen what is called speed grading, that we'll see it in the next class. Top level source type is HDL. The synthesis tool is Xilinx synthesis tool. Simulator is iSIM. Preferred language is Verilog. Here you can also select it whether Verilog or VHDL. Property specification project file, store all values. Manual compile order, there is nothing we are going to specify. VHDL source analysis standard, there will be 2 versions. One is VHDL 93. If you suppose you are going to code your HDL in Verilog, VHDL means there will be 2 options for you. Which VHDL standard has been used for analyzing the hardware description language code. Whether VHDL 93 use pananuma or VHDL 2000X use pananuma will be decided by you. No need to select this enable message filtering over here. Now let us default type. Since we are going with Verilog, we need not bother about the VHDL source analysis standard. Just leave it at VHDL 93. Kindly click on next. Here it will be providing you the project summary. The name of the project is LG_1. It is present in the path F drive within the folder Xilinx ISC. Within it, it is having one folder called as logic gates. And the description is here 2 input AND gate. Top level source type is HDL. The device family is Spartan 6. Device is XC6S1X4. Package is TQG144. The speed grade is -3. Top level source type is HDL. Synthesis tool we are going to use is XST, Xilinx synthesis tool. Simulator is iSIM. Preferred language is Verilog. Property specification in project file is store all values. Manual compile order, since I have not specified anything, by default it is taking it to be false over here. VHDL source analysis standard VHDL 93. Message filtering, since I have not selected anything about message filtering, it is showing disabled. Okay, now click on finish. Now you will be getting like this. Now what you have to do means go to the option called as tab project over here. Click on new source. There will be several options over here: file, edit, view, project, source, process, tools, window, layout, help. Go to project and click on new source. The new source wizard will be appearing before you with several options that you can create using this Xilinx ISC design suite. Whether you can create an IP, intellectual property, or whether you want to create a schematic, or whether you want to create a Verilog module, whether you want to create a Verilog test bench. In Verilog test bench, we'll be calling it as test fixture, VHDL module, or you want to go into create a VHDL package, or you want to go into create a VHDL library, or you are going to create a VHDL test bench, or you are going to create a embedded processor. So these are all the several options over here. We are going to go with Verilog module over here. So name of the Verilog module is LG underscore A. Okay, this is the name of the Verilog module what I'm giving. You have to first select in the new source wizard. How will you select the new source wizard? Go to project, select new source. Within it, you have to click on Verilog module. In that, give the file name as LG underscore A. Not necessarily LG underscore A. Give some name of your choice. Kindly ensure this add to project checkbox is having a tick mark. If you suppose it is not having means kindly check it. By default, it will be present over here. This must be present, then only your Verilog module will get linked properly and will be getting a proper output. Kindly ensure this add to project checkbox is having a tick mark. Okay, the name of the file is LG underscore A and it is present in the location over here. It is a Verilog module. Now click on next. So this is your define module dialog box. In this, it will be asking you what are all the ports you are going to specify, and you will be having different options over here. It will be for each of the port, you will be having 4 different options. What are the 4 different options? Means you can select the direction of the port, whether it must be an input port or whether it must be an output port or whether it must be a bidirectional port. Whether it must be a unidirectional port or whether it must be a bidirectional port. Input means it will be receiving only the input. Output means it will be sending only to the output. In-out means it will be acting both as a input as well as a output. Okay, whenever we are going for a tri-state or high impedance inverters, buffers and all, we'll be going for in-out. Whenever we want to create a bidirectional bus driver circuit, we'll be going for in-out. Whenever we are going to go for unidirectional bus driver circuit, we'll be going for either input or output. Okay, so next one. Here I'm going to select a port name. The name of the port is A and I want to keep it as an input. The remaining things, bus, MSB, LSB and all. Once we go into a program, we'll be teaching it with. Next one, B. I want to make this also to be an input because for a 2 input AND gate, A and B are the inputs. C is my output. Here I am mentioning the name of the port. Here I have to select it whether it must be a input or output port. A and B must be input for me and C must be my output port for me. Kindly select it output. Okay. If you click on this drop down box for each of the port, you will be having these 3 options, whether it must be an input port or whether it must be an output port or whether it must be an in-out port. For my present purpose, for explanation purpose, A and B must be my input port, C must be my output port. Okay. So once after this selection, click on next. Again, the project navigator summary dialog box will be appearing, telling me what are all the various So this is the project navigator over here. This will be listing out what is the name of the module, what is the source directory, what is the source type, what is the source name. Source name will be your Verilog file. And what are the port definitions, what are their directions. So P in means input. Okay. This is a pin, sorry. This is a pin, whether it will be an output pin or an input pin. So now click on finish. Here it is. Everything will be listed automatically, starting from time scale, company, here and all. You can write your own things. You can fill all these are comments. None of them will be taken into consideration by the ISC design suite compiler. This is only for your readability of your program. So here everything has been given. You have to just type the code between the module and the end module keywords. So LG underscore A is my source file name. It is having two inputs, namely input A, input B, output C. Everything will be coming as it is. You have to just write the program. This is extremely in contrast with the model sim. In model sim, you only have to type the module name, module, the inputs and outputs in correct order along with everything. Here, the module and the end module keywords will be predeterminedly filled over here. You have to just write the remaining codes alone. So I'm going to just give assign C is equal to A and B. So for my AND gate, this is the expression. Assign C is equal to A and B. Now click on either Control S or there will be option over here. Save all, save. Kindly click on save all. Okay. Now there will be option over here. Design summary reports, design utilities. User constraint, synthesize XST, implement design, generate programming file, configure target device, analyze design using chip scope. So here we'll be doing only two things. Just click on synthesize XST, right click it, right click on synthesize XST and click on run option. Here it will be telling what are the various things it is doing. If your program is correct, it will be coming with your propagation delay over here. Maximum combinational path delay for this AND gate in Spartan. How to see whether what is the FPGA you have done? Just click on project, go to design properties. Here everything will be listed, whatever things you have selected. Suppose you are feeling you want to go with different FPGA means here you can directly select it. Here you can directly select it. You cannot change the name of the file and all, but you can change the board, FPGA board to some other thing of your choice. So it is Spartan 6 and the combinational path delay for my AND gate. That is my operating speed of my AND gate is 5.259 nanoseconds. So now there will be two options over here. View technology schematic, view RTL schematic. Let us see what happens to these two things. Here there will be one set RTL tech viewer startup mode dialog box will be appearing. As soon as you click on this view RTL schematic, this will be coming like this. Start with your schematic of the top level block. Show this dialog box. Kindly ensure this checkbox must be enabled. And kindly ensure this radio button is enabled. Start with a schematic of the top level block. Click on OK. So this is your RTL diagram. This is your RTL diagram of your AND gate. We will double click it. Let us see what happens. See, this is your AND gate. Okay. This I1, I0 indicates the inputs. O indicates the output. So what is the basic difference between the RTL view and the technology view means? In technology, the AND gate will be represented by means of a lookup table. Whereas over here, it will be directly showing you what is the gate you have implemented for a particular circuit. Let us now just close it. This is your RTL view of your AND gate. So it is just to go to technology schematic. Right click this, double click this technology schematic. It will be similar dialog box will be appearing. Select the radio button, start with the schematic of the top level block and kindly ensure this checkbox is enabled. Click on OK. This is your technology view, technology schematic. Okay. Both the RTL schematic, technology schematic at the instant starting will be looking the same. But if you go double click this, see over here. There if you double click the module, it is showing AND gate directly, whereas over here it will be showing the AND gate in terms of your lookup table. Okay, so it will be adding additional buffers at the input and output. In technology schematic, it will be adding input and output buffers for each of the gates, whatever you're using, and each of the gates will be implemented. Not only gates, each of the combinational circuits will be implemented by means of a lookup table. LUT means lookup table. So if you double click it, you will be knowing what is the schematic. This is your RTL schematic. What is the equation this lookup table is implementing? The lookup table is implementing I0 into I1. It will be showing the truth table also. Along with the Karnaugh map for this lookup table. For this particular equation, it will be showing me the Karnaugh map. In technology schematic, you can view these four things. To double click this LUT, you can view four things associated with this LUT. What is the hardware it is implementing? It is implementing a AND gate. What is the equation of the hardware it is implementing? Since it is a AND gate, O is equal to I0 into I1. What is the truth table it is providing? So I1, I0 output, it will be showing the truth table for a AND gate. And what is the Karnaugh map that is being used for realizing the equation? All these four things can be found from the technology schematic view. RTL schematic, it will be directly showing you the AND gate, whereas in technology schematic, all the gates and all the combinational circuits will be represented in terms of your lookup table. Now, once you have seen with these two things, kindly there will be another option on the left hand side called as implement design. Just click on this positive arrow, you will be getting a tree of options like this: translate, map, place and route. These three are very much important if you want to know what is the power consumption of the particular digital circuit you have created. This is enough if you want to just view the program alone. But if you want to implement it in a FPGA board, you must know what is the power consumption performed by the power consumption of the device what you are using. For this implement design is very important. Kindly right click it and click on run. Three operations will be taking: first translate, second one map, third one is place and route. All these three things must be initially coming with a tick sign. Green tick means your operation is successful. If it is coming with a yellow color warning sign means there is some corrections to be made, it is partially correct. Whereas if it is coming with a red color mark with a X in it, it is called wrong. So all these three things I am having a green color tick mark over here. So my program is syntactically correct as far as from the program point of view. Now, I need to check whether this program is functionally correct by means of a test bench. So for this, what I have to do? Again, I have to go to the project tab, select it, click on new source. The same select source file will be coming over here. Now it will be having additional things over here: BMM file, chip scope definition and connection file. The same new source wizard, when you are going to first create a .veri file, will be having only select things: IP core architecture wizard, memory file, schematic, user document, embed Verilog module, Verilog text picture, VHDL module, VHDL library, VHDL package, VHDL test bench, embedded processor. But once you have created your Verilog file and you have performed all these operations: synthesize, translate, map, place and route. Now if you click on the project new source means additionally three options will be coming: BMM file, chip scope definition and connection file, implementation constraints file, UCF. Okay. Now you are going to select a Verilog text fixture. Text fixture is nothing but your test bench. Test bench is going to verify whether your code is functionally correct. So LG underscore A underscore TB. LG underscore A is my original Verilog file. LG underscore A underscore TB is my Verilog test bench file. Again, you have to ensure this add to project checkbox is enabled. Now, you have to click on next. It will be asking to which file should I associate this particular test bench waveform. I want to associate this test bench waveform with my original Verilog file, which is LG underscore A. Kindly, it will be automatically selected. If there are multiple files, you only have to select to which Verilog file you want to attach a test bench. Here, since there is only one Verilog file and one test bench, it will get automatically enabled with only the Verilog file you have created. Okay, click on this, click on next. It will be providing the summary. The source name is lg_a_tb.v. It is associated with the Verilog file lg_a, and the source type is Verilog test fixture. Test bench in Verilog is called as test fixture. In VHDL it is called as test bench. Add to project, you have to by default enable the checkbox. If you want to change any of these things, means you have to again go to back. Okay. Now click on finish. So everything will be coming. All the inputs will be coming with the register data type similar to your model sim, and all the outputs will be having the wire. These things and all you will be explicitly writing in your model sim software, whereas this will be automatically populated over here. Now what you do, remove all these things over here. Okay, here hash 100, that is means after 100 nanoseconds only this inputs must be applied over here. So for AND gate there are totally four pair of inputs. A is equal to 0 0, B 0 1, 1 0, 1 1. Kindly click on save. Here from implementation radio button, go to simulation radio button. Your Verilog file will be in implementation. Your test bench will be in simulation radio button. This must be by default in behavioral. Select the test bench file over here, lg_a_tb. Here it will be automatically selecting the simulator, which is going to show the graphical form of the output. Kindly click on this plus button over here. First click on behavioral check syntax, double click it. It has analyzed our entire thing. It is showing that process behavioral check syntax has been completed successfully. Next, double click on this simulate behavioral model. So this is our graph over here. Since I do not want this much over here, I am clicking on zoom out. Okay, click on the zoom to full view. See over here, after 100 nanoseconds only, it is showing it is starting to apply the inputs. So B is the first input, A is the second input over here. So 0 0 means output is 0. 1 0 means 0 1 means output is 0. 0 0 means first A is applied, then B is applied over here. 0 0 means output is 0. 0 1 means output is 0. 1 0 means output is 0. 1 1 means output is 1. So this ensures our design is functionally correct. This ensures our design is functionally correct. Here I would have given my, see over here, I have given 100 nanoseconds, correct? So only after 100 nanoseconds only, that is from 0 to 100 nanoseconds, I am having tri-state condition. XXX means don't care condition. Okay. Okay, only after 100 nanoseconds I am applying the input. So 0 0 output is 0 over here. Here A is 0 as well as B is 0, so output is 0 over here. Here A is 0 and B is 1 and output is 1 over here or 0 over here. Here A is 1, B is 0, output is 0 over here. and finally A is equal to 1, B is equal A is equal to 1, B is equal to 1, output is equal to 1. Okay, so from that onwards up till 1000 nanoseconds, the output is continuously high. That means this is my limit what I have set over here. From 0 to 1000 nanoseconds is my total simulation time. Okay, so it's because of this 100 nanoseconds I'm having 0 as my output. At 200 I'm having 0 as my output. At 300 I'm having 0 as my output. From 400 onwards I'm having till the maximum simulation time, that is nanoseconds time, I'm having all this output to be high. Suppose if I want to change the simulation time, is what should I do? Kindly right click this. Here click on go to source code. Sorry. Go to simulation. Okay, for this, suppose if you want to change the simulation time, means here, click on the, come to the original this thing over here. Here in the process properties, here it will be asking your simulation runtime. Here you can select it, 1000 nanoseconds. Click on OK. This is the way how you can change your total runtime over here. Okay, so your hardware is both syntactically correct as well as functionally correct. So with this, we are completing with the entire process of how to write a program in Xilinx. With this, we are completing our entire process of how to run a program in Xilinx ISE and how to verify its functional correctness. So with this, we are completing. So this is the entire process. Thanks for today's session. And I hope that everyone will be having a thorough knowledge on how to do this. With this, I'm concluding. Thank you for today's session.